What's going on, guys? So here with me today I have the Sonos Aces, and this is Sonos's first attempt at making over-the-ear headphones. And I'd also say this is one of the most highly anticipated products by Sonos since it's more of their on-the-go outside of the room. But I'm also a person coming from the AirPod Maxes as well as the Sony XM5. So I will give you a bit of an overview of all three, but I will have a dedicated video comparing all three in depth. But first, we got to thank our sponsor for today, Nobody. All right, so we always have to give credit where credit is due. I was almost misled here because it was manufactured at this California address, but if you look closely, it was assembled in China. People ask me why I have a knife when they have pull tabs that I can just rip off for the box. Let me show you why. If you read carefully, it says, tearing of this strip indicates your acceptance of the Sonos terms of use, license and warranty agreement, blah, 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 blah. That's why I use a knife. Bink. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sonos Aces. I think I opened this backwards. Ooh, it's felt like all their other products you unbox. But yeah, they have a Let's Get Started pack. Let's see what's in here. We have the setup process. Looks like we have some cables. Oh, I'm dumb. You have a little pull tab up here. Pull that up, just like that. We have a USB-C to USB-C cable, and then we have a USB to a 3.5 millimeter jack. So that's pretty nice. Setup process, I'm assuming is going to be pretty self-explanatory, but they do give you instructions on what you do. So, you know, some physical buttons, download the app, at a glance for the noise canceling and the controls, and then the actual functions for how you want to manipulate the button, or interact with the button, I should say. Let's go ahead and get this unraveled here. Such a nice box. And let's do a quick smell test. I already know Sonos products smell good. Yep, it smells like a furniture store that is out of my budget. Okay, so this is the Sonos product. As you can see here, Sonos, and you flip it upside down, still says Sonos, one of the cool things about their logo. But yeah, let's go ahead and unzip this. And voila, we have the Sonos Aces. Much lighter than I expected. The cushioning on the inside is very soft. I like that. We do have this pouch here, which probably houses our cables. There's nothing in there right now, so that's cool. There is a bit of magnetism right here, so that's cool. And not really sure what this is, but it's there. Okay, so I elected to go for the black model instead of the white one because the black one, when it's on your head, isn't as obvious compared to, you know, white headphones. That's one thing that I like about the XM5s that I ended up going with, but the black ones are nice. They do come in white if that's what you want. If you do stretch it out a bit, it does have a pretty good clamp. The one thing that I love about the AirPod Maxes is that it has a pretty tight seal whenever you release the ear cups. But we also have this nice soft material over the head right here, which is great. And then the material right here, the leatherette that they use, this has got to be one of the best that I've felt on a over-the-ear headphones, excuse me. I'd say this is definitely better than the Sony XM5s, even the XM4s. My only concern is with how soft this is. I don't know how long this is going to stay this way. I feel like this might be the material that rips pretty easily because I can already see some ridges starting to form all around this leather. But leather does have its properties. That's just, you know, one of the things that comes with using it. But then on the bottom side here, we do have our USB-C charging cable and then our power and Bluetooth button. And then we have the controls for how we want to play, pause, skip, things like that. And I'm assuming this is the active noise canceling, switching between the modes. So overall, pretty clean aesthetic. And I like how it's integrating. It's almost as if the Sony headphones and the AirPod Maxes had a baby, and you're getting the best of both worlds. But let's see how the software and the sound sounds like. How can you tell which one's right? Okay, so I forgot. On the ear cup itself, there's actually a R. So if you want to know what the letters are for each ear cup, you're gonna have to look inside. That one's like pitch black. But let's go ahead and put these on and hit the power button. Not bad. All right, so it's telling me to wow, the active noise canceling turned on immediately. But Sonos Aces, it's telling me to add it, so that's what I'm going to do. If you aren't familiar with the Sonos app, it's pretty much in line with setting up any other device automatically with Bluetooth. So I'm going to hit pair. And Sonos has done a redesign of the app overall for their upcoming products coming out this year, especially these headphones. So there's been a bit of a decisiveness on the reception of the app and how it's been redesigned, but I'm just here to try out the headphones and see how they sound. So right now it's linking the Sonos Aces to my account, and that might be it. All right, so there is a software update. All right, my Sonos Aces will restart. I will say that probably took about 5 minutes to update. A little bit longer than I expected. I am on Wi-Fi, so not really sure what took the update so long, but regardless, it's updated. All right, so while it's taking, I don't know, eons for my Sonos Ace to restart after an update, I want to talk a bit about how these feel comparatively speaking to the Sony XM5s and the AirPod Maxes. Comfortability, I would say these might be the most comfortable just because of this inner cup that I was talking about before. This stuff is extremely soft. The XM5s are pretty soft as well, but this just takes it up a notch. I don't know what material that they're using. I don't know. It's not memory foam, but once again, I don't know how long this leather is going to be in this perfect condition. I think this is going to wear off much faster than other headphones that I've tried in the past. But it has been added. The one last thing I wanted to talk about was the weight. And I'd say this is in between the XM5s and the AirPod Maxes. AirPod Maxes being the heaviest and the XM5s being lightweight. These Aces are, I'd say, just a tad bit heavier than the XM5s. So if you're a person who doesn't want super heavy over-the-ear headphones, probably want to get the Aces or the XM5s. So I wonder if I can, can I just play this? Let's get to the good part. One thing I want to test as well is I want to see if the sound profile changes when I switch between the different modes, like active noise canceling, off, or transparency. So let's see if the music sounds any different. Sounds exactly the same. And it sounds, whoa. That's actually pretty nice. Sounds exactly the same. Okay, that brings up Siri. Siri, please go away. So next test I want to do is if I take it off, does it stop the music? It does. That's a major plus. If I put it back on, does it start? All right, so next up, I want to test out some of the EQ settings, if there are any. So if you go to your headphones, or your settings under Sonos, you'll see headphones. You can name it what you want. Right now I'm on aware mode. And EQ, loudness is turned on, so it boosts the bass and treble at low volumes. So I'd say that's pretty useful if you don't want to crank up your volume super loud, if you're on like transit or something, and you still want to have a bit of a bass and clear trebles. So everything's on the right side. Everything's on the left side. Sounds much more muddy. More clear mids and highs. I need a Travis song for bass. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. I'll leave it there. I'll have comments later on. It does have head tracking, so Sonos intelligent motion processing with Dolby headphones. So honestly, not the biggest fan of this, but if you want the head tracking spatial audio, you can do that. I'm gonna leave mine off. Multi-point, I think this is a huge plus. One of the biggest downsides of the AirPod Maxes, but connect two Bluetooth devices and switch between them easily. Love that. So noise cancellation, you can actually have off. So I think I'm gonna have that on just to cycle between all three. Wear detection, that's great. So if I actually take this off and go back, it still continues to play. I prefer to have that setting enabled. Where to answer when you're getting a call, put the headphones on to answer automatically. Don't know if I'd have that enabled because I usually like to see who's calling first. I'd say if you're working a job where you're like a support sales, you typically always answer the phone and you want to have these. I'd say that's a good option for you, but for everyday use, I would probably never want to have that enabled. And software updates, that's great that there's a dedicated section, unlike the AirPod Maxes. XM5s and pretty much everyone else in the industry has a way to specifically update your software. That's nice to see. Education, so kind of like your instructions on how to use your Sony. Sonos Aces. Keeps wanting to say Sony. But yeah, batteries sitting there. The active noise canceling is pretty good. Like, really good. And the aware mode as well is also really good. Like, it's so clear. Anyway, thanks Travis for your bass. So these are just first impressions. My biggest concern really is I don't know how long this quality is going to be upkept for. The ridges are starting to form already, and if anything, that the one thing that I hate about leather, the one thing that I actually appreciate about the AirPod Max is that when leather starts to go bad and starts to rip, it looks pretty bad. Obviously, people say that builds character. It's a unique design, unique to you. Personally, not the biggest fan of it. So maybe the white would be better, but then with white, dirt and stuff like that might be harder to upkeep. So the black might be the best choice for a lot of people. So do keep in mind, this does start at $449. This is a Sonos product, so it is not for. Am I allowed to say it's not for the poor? It's definitely not for the poor because it's up there for over-ear headphones. I think it's fair to say that Sonos is definitely a premium brand. But just from first impressions alone, I would say they're not bad. They're not amazing either. I was expecting a little bit more from the hype that Sonos was generating with these, or I should say what the leaks were. About the headphones, how you're able to sync it with your existing home theater setup you have at home with Sonos, but it doesn't seem like it offers anything extra rather than just switching between the two. But given the landscape right now, I would say the Sony XM5s are still probably one of the best that I've used. I think Sony's software is really what makes it stand out compared to its competitors. They also offer 3 colors, so I think sometimes 4 for limited edition. The branding as well is very sleek, minimal on both of these. But in terms of lightness and quality, I didn't even talk about the sound quality. These sound great. I'd say they sound pretty much in line with Apple-esque sound profiles where things are very clear, the basses aren't too overpowering. But if you're a person that listens to a lot of bass-heavy stuff or you enjoy hearing bass, the Sonys, without a doubt, I would say are the best. And even when it comes to the EQ profile that you have on the XM5s, you can do way more to actually tune it to what you actually like compared to the Sonos and especially the AirPod Maxes. So Sony, it's even cheaper as well. Does have the ability to connect to multiple Bluetooth devices at once. And just the software side of things, Sony's XM5s, even the XM4s, which I still think are probably the best ones that they made, just seem to be edging out over the competition. So if you are a fan of Sonos, you like Sonos products, and you don't want the AirPod Maxes, I would probably pick up the Aces over the AirPod Maxes because these just feel so outdated. And even this carrying case is ridiculous. I don't even know where it is. It probably ran away. But the fact that there's no proper carrying case for this, this is the carrying thing, I think is a novel design, but it's not a practical one. Anyway, I'll leave that all for my official comparison video. But hopefully you guys enjoyed my first impressions on unboxing of the Sonos Aces. I apologize if I said Sony Aces at all. But yeah, pretty happy with these. I'm going to try them out for a bit. I think the ultimate test is how do these sound on an airplane, because all the other two sound pretty good, but which one is the best? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate every single sub, like, and comment. And as always, guys, much love. Look how stupid this is, man. Apple fans are crazy to defend that design. This side, this side, this side, this side. And I'm a person who is coming from the AirPod Maxes as well as the Sony XM5s. I always feel like I open this upside down every time, and I do. Wow. Without fail. What's going on, guys? So you guys might not know this. I don't even know what I'm starting off this video with. I'm so stupid. Okay, take 65. What's going on, guys? So in today's video, I will be doing the unboxing and first impression of the Sonos Aces. This is Sonos's first attempt of making over-the-ear headphones, and I would say it's probably one of the most highly anticipated products. But I'm also a person that's going to give you a perspective that's coming from the AirPod Maxes as well as the Sony XM5s. I was doing so good, but why are you like this? Take 95. This is one of Sonos's first attempts. Take a bajillion.